Inside the Classroom takes an in-depth look at one of Team Hardin County Schools' best teachers in action, featuring comments, class instruction, and insight inside the classroom.
Parents were the ones that inspired me to become teachers. They both were high school teachers here in Hardin County. My dad was a teacher at East Hardin, then went on to be a teacher at Central Hardin High School, and then my mother was a teacher at North Hardin. And from a very early age, I got to see them come home, bring papers. I went to functions with them at the schools, and I was always wanting to be one to be a teacher. But then probably the most significant person that had the most significant impact on me truly wanting to become a teacher was my first grade teacher. Her name was Mrs. Lindsay, Janet Lindsay, who taught at Lincoln Trail Elementary School. She was my first grade teacher, and she just instilled such passion and desire in her teaching that at a very early age that was very impressionable upon me, and I knew from that point on that I wanted to go on into the teaching career. Right. Then after we've got our sky part finished, okay, we're going to start working on the road. Okay, this road part is a little bit harder because we have to heavy up our pressure. Okay, so when we are working on the road part, we're going to take vertical instead of horizontal strokes with our charcoal. Okay, we're going to go up and down like this, and we want to give enough pressure that it's going to look like blacktop when we smear it out. Okay, so this value is obviously going to be significantly darker than this value up here. Now where we did our 2-finger swirl up here in the sky, this we can go back to the 1 finger because we want it to look like pavement or blacktop. Okay, we want to make sure that we get close and go in between all of our little lines that we drew on the road with a little bit, but we want to make sure that we keep the dark black value out of the lines of the road. Well, I started my teaching career in 1996, and I was a 1st and 2nd grade teacher at Meadowview Elementary School here in Hardin County. And then at the conclusion of that year, I was asked by the principal to take the music position. And so I became the music teacher there, and I also did some art classes. I have been teaching in the arts, specifically the art classroom for, oh my goodness, the last 17 some odd years just strictly doing art. But I began my career in a regular classroom, and then I also did both art and music at the Old Sonora School and then the Upton School as well. And we want to make sure that our movement goes up and down instead of from side to side, okay? So when you're ready for that part, you can get your brick charcoal, okay? You can get your brick charcoal if you want to trade it in for the pencil part, okay? All right.
Am I ready?
Yes, sir, and you can come and I'll share all of the information with you here in just a second, so I know you're ready, and yours is ready to be sprayed. But I need for you to go back and tighten up all of your contour lines for your trees, just soft and gentle. Yes, ma'am, thank you. You may wash your hands, and then you may go and do a free draw, and then I may need your help. If some of the people aren't understanding something, I'll get with you, okay? What I was doing today is a unit on perspective. We work on perspective beginning in kindergarten. It's a very difficult art concept. And each year I try to build on their skills and their vocabulary so that they better understand how perspective, especially 1 point, is what we focus on primarily at the elementary school, so that next year's project we can be even more successful. Last year we actually did a road that had buildings on either side. And it was very hard for the students to get the straight lines of all the buildings so that our roofs weren't crooked and our doorways weren't crooked. So this year I expanded on more of the organic form, which would be our trees in nature. And they were having a whole lot easier time with it this year because their branches did not have to be perfectly straight. We wanted them to look very organic. And I can just tell a big difference in their skill set and their vocabulary. I have a lot of students who, of course, the lesson that you will see, fifth graders were able to help other students. I do start that as early as kindergarten, where once you get to be an expert, is what I call you, an art expert, in a certain area that you can go ahead and help a neighbor, help a friend. That helps them improve their vocabulary when they reedify what I've told them through their techniques and skills. And so we do some very advanced things here in the art room, and they love it when I say, oh, this is an 8th grade skill, or this is a high school skill, or Mrs. Brawner learned this in college, but guess what? Today you're not in college, you're in 1st grade, and you're going to learn how to do this too. So it makes them feel important when I can use them to share lessons with others or techniques and skills. Perfect. Now, on yours, you are ready to do, with your charcoal pencil, all of the orthogonal lines, which are the lines coming down on your road that's going back to your vanishing point, and all of your box lines, plus your horizon line, but don't chop through your tree. Okay, so do that with this pencil first, then come back to me and I'll show you what to do on your sky and your road. Okay. All right, so you are ready for sky and road. What about you, Delilah? You are ready to do charcoal technique on this. Okay, trace all of your lines, your contour lines and the lines inside with the charcoal pencil. Then do the smudge technique and bring it back to me and I'll show you what to do next, okay? And you are ready to do all of your road lines and the boxes in your road. So do all your orthogonal lines, then get all of your box lines, and then do your horizon line. But don't chop through your tree with your regular charcoal pencil. Then when you come back, I'll show you how to do the sky and the road, okay? You might want to show you. Right here.
So Mrs. Brawner is so effective as a teacher because she not only has a mastery of the craft and art of teaching, but she has a passion for her subject. She makes art fun and engaging, not only for all of the students, but for the adults in the building as well. Every time I go in her classroom, I learn something new and I learn something exciting about the content that she's teaching. And so it's no wonder that all of the students are captivated and fascinated with the art lessons that they have with her.
So we're trading over from the pencil charcoal to the brick charcoal, okay? So what we've got to do, we have to make this look like a very soft winter sky, okay? So we have to turn the charcoal on its side, and we're going to give very, very light pressure. And we're just going to kind of fill in the entire sky area from the horizon all the way to the top of our paper. We're going to do a 2-finger swirl to make the puffiness of the clouds. Look how cool that looks. And we're going to fill in all of the areas for the sky, not getting very dark with our value. If we come to branches, we want to go around them. And if our charcoal is too big to go in between, we can even put a little bit on our finger and then go into those areas just to soften it.
Wait, so
okay?
do we take it and go from here to here?
Yes. That all of that movement is horizontal.
And then I do this.
Then when you get done with that, we get to trade over and do our road. Okay, our road is a little bit different because our value has to deepen and it wants to be a whole lot darker than the sky because this is pavement, like blacktop that our cars drive on. So when we fill this area in, you're still going to keep it on its side, but instead of going horizontal side to side, we have to go vertical movement like this, and then instead of 2-finger swirl, we just want to go back to our single finger, and we're going to fill that area in, just like that. And with this area, you have to make sure that you go in between to give this some color as well. In between those areas, you just want to keep it out of these because this will be the painted part of the road. Okay, so if you're ready to do this part, you can get you a piece of brick charcoal here and start working on sky, and then you can work on road. If you have any problem, we have a few experts that have finished already. We've got Olivia, and Lily is finished, and I think Harper is finished as well, if you were wanting to ask a question or if I'm doing it right, okay?
Miss Brawner makes everything fun by making these cute little activities that we do.
Does that need to be blacker?
It needs to be just a tiny bit. But what I think we need to do is we need to take this sky all the way to touch the earth, remember? The color of our sky needs to go from top to the horizon line, okay? So you want to go back and work on that part for me? Perfect.
Miss Brawner makes learning fun by helping us do our work, and then she lets us do fun activities with our art. Our art activities are fun to do.
I don't remember what I did.
Okay, this looks great. You have finished the contour lines of your tree. You've done your technique on the inside where you smudged and smeared. It looks perfect. So this can go in your teacher's box here in just a second. And then you can start working on all of the outlining contour lines, just like you did this one, on all your trees. Once you get all your trees finished, then I will talk about how to do sky and how to do road.
Am I falling behind?
You got plenty of time. We're doing great.
What Miss Brawner does to make learning fun for us is she lets us do a lot of fun activities, like Brooklyn said, like the hot chocolate activity.
Much better. Now, if you can go back with your pink pearl eraser and just erase any of the smudges, this will make this area look more like snow. And then one thing that we forgot to do on the right side that we did on the left side is closing off the bottoms of our
Trees.
Yeah. Can you go back and fix that? And you're going to need a pencil. Okay? All right.
How Miss Brawner makes learning fun is because, well, she will show us what to do and not to do, and she'll use these funny ways of showing us how not to do it and how to do it. So that's how it makes it fun.
All right. So now we're going to start working on the sky, and we're going to start working on the road. Okay? So for the sky part, we're wanting just a very soft winter sky. So we have to use the brick charcoal, and we're going to take this brick charcoal on its side, and you're ready for this part too, and we're going to turn it on its side, and we're going to barely give pressure. Okay? Barely pushing to where it's just kind of gliding over the surface. And then once we've got all of this sky filled in all the way to the horizon line, we're going to do a 2-finger swirl instead of one. And that's going to create the illusion of puffiness kind of in our clouds and, the sky area. When we get all of that done, okay, there may be some areas where we couldn't get real good in between our branch parts. So in order to do those, if you can't get in there good with your charcoal, you can always put a little bit on your finger and kind of fill in, okay? Then we'll shift attention to the road. Once we've shifted attention to the road, we have to go a whole lot darker with our value, like Cody did. Can you show them yours? That looks really good.
Good job, Cody.
Yours looks good, Cody. I'll spray it. Yes, sir. Thank you. So we've got to keep the darkness out of the lines of the road. So this technique's a little different. Instead of going from side to side, we have to go up and down in vertical motion. And we want to apply it on its side, up and down just like this. And then when we smear it out, instead of 2-finger swirl, we go back to a single finger like we did our trees. And that's going to help deepen that value and that darkness for the road.
What if it goes on the side?
If it goes on the side a little bit, it's okay because we can get that off with our pink pearl eraser. We just don't want to try to put a whole lot of darkness out into this part because that's going to be the snow, but a little bit will be okay. It might even kind of represent a little bit of a shadow or something on the bottom underneath the trees, and that would be fine, okay? So if you all have any questions, you can talk to Olivia or you can talk with Harper. They're already finished. Lily's finished, and Cody's finished as well if you need some help, okay? I think the best practices that I use is probably just being very compassionate and understanding with the students. Everyone has such diverse skill levels, especially in the arts, and a lot of children really enjoy the arts and a lot of children struggle with the arts. Those students that have fine motor issues, I try to make accommodations and modifications for them. I try to let them experience and use different supplies, maybe beyond the normal of what we're using for that particular lesson, so that they will be successful. I try to encourage and develop vocabulary understanding. I try to incorporate learning in a unique way. I often will start all of my units with background information about the particular artist that we're studying, or the time period that we're studying, or in fact, the lesson that you all will be seeing today, we talked about birch trees. We talked about their significance. We talked about what they look like, so that the students could become familiar with the actual topic that they were having to work on. So I think that's important. And I think it's important for the kids to be allowed to, I guess, ask me, Ms. Brawner, can we do a project on alligators? Because we've been studying about alligators in the classroom, and I try to develop something that we've not done before, but in a very child-friendly, but yet being able to get the vocabulary and them expand their horizons in a very unique way. Yes, it looks beautiful. Perfect. You can go wash your hands.
So Mrs. Brawner uses so many phenomenal teaching practices in her classroom. Some of the ones that come to mind are just the high quality feedback that she gives, and because she does such a wonderful job modeling that for the students, when I've been able to observe in her room, the students give each other feedback, and that is just a true mark of a phenomenal teacher. She does a fantastic job modeling the artwork for her students. She teaches them high-level academic vocabulary, and again, she makes the projects relatable and of high interest to the students.
Olivia, can I borrow you for just a second? Can you show him what he needs to do to his road before we get to sky and the value on the road? He's missing something right up through the middle.
You need to pick
Okay.
the lines for your road.
I like to draw a lot, so that's one of my favorite parts, but I like to do all the fun projects.
Now remember to make sure you're doing a 2-finger swirl. And then when you get ready to do your road, that value is going to be darker than the sky. Good. Now, what you need to do on this is take your charcoal pencil again and trace over the horizon line.
But don't get the trees.
But don't get the trees. We don't want to chop through because we can't see through things, can we? Okay, and then we're going to do our orthogonal lines, and then the lines of the road going all the way down through before we do the technique for the sky and the road. Okay, so get all of our tracing parts. Don't smear it yet. You can do it very softly once you get it all finished. Oh, that looks really good. I love it. That looks awesome. Perfect. I'm going to spray it for you. You can go ahead and wash your hands, and as soon as you finish, you can work on a free draw. Boys, y'all can work on a free draw. Okay? Yeah.
In Miss Brawner's classroom, I like to do free draws, and I like to talk and kind of chat with my friends.
It looks beautiful. The only thing we need to do is get the pink pearl eraser and erase some of the smudge into the snow part. Okay? Now you're ready. Yes. Now you can get your pencil charcoal and trace all of the road lines. Okay? That looks good. Yes, sir. Okay, which one are you on? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so take your fingers and come straight across. That one will go right there. So from my thumb to this finger here will be the height of that tree, and he's got to go all the way back the orthogonal line to the vanishing point. And as they go back, they get smaller. That's right. So this one is the one we're missing, is right here. So if you'll make a little mark right there where my thumb is, and make a little mark right here where my ring finger is, perfect. Your tree's trunk is going to go from here to here, and then your branches will just extend a little bit, but don't go up into the horizon line. The only one that goes up that high is your first tree. Okay, that looks good so far.
What she does to encourage us is she'll, let's say if you can't draw a straight line, she'll show us how to do it. Like, she'll say, here, just use a ruler, and that will make you be able to make a straight line. Like, we're doing this road project, so we had to use a ruler.
Perfect. You are going to work on sky technique and road technique. And Lily, will you show her how to do the sky and the road? Not Lily. Brooklyn, will you show her how to do the sky and the road? Thank you.
Ms. Brawner makes learning fun by teaching us art and teaching us how to write in art form.
If you'll trace with your charcoal pencil the orthogonal lines, the horizon line, and your boxes going all the way down with the charcoal pencil, and then smear that out. We just don't want to chop through our tree, okay? And then we'll be ready to do the sky and the road technique. All right. Girls, y'all doing okay over here? Yeah. Okay. Yours is ready. That looks awesome. That looks perfect. The only thing you need to do is go wash hands, and then when you come back, if you will get a tissue and wipe some of this off your table.
My favorite activity is drawing because I'm really artsy, and at home I have a bunch of stuff to draw and color with. And I draw like little animals and backgrounds.
Okay, the one thing that we need to do before we do the sky is the lines inside the tree, because we need a soft value in here, and you haven't smeared out your trees yet. So we need to smear out our trees. Then we can work on the road part, okay? And then you need to come down closer to the branches of your tree like this. My greatest joys in the classroom would be seeing a child from kindergarten all the way to 5th grade really be able to expand and grow. Those that were kind of skittish coming in kindergarten, they were unsure, they maybe did not want to try as much, or their skills weren't as refined. Really seeing the progress from year to year, and that's what's so unique about my position, is that I service kindergarten through 5th grade, and I get to see those students from what they started when they were in kindergarten, expand those skills and then get better their 1st grade year all the way up through the 5th grade year. I have had people, believe it or not, come back to me and say, Mrs. Brawner, what you taught me in elementary school really helped me in middle school. I knew what my teacher was asking of me. I was able to share some vocabulary words that you taught me. And that makes me feel very, very special, especially those that have decided to go on and have a career in the arts. Very proud of people when I see their names in the newspaper for winning different art awards. And representing Hardin County schools.
So Mrs. Brawner does so much for our school here at Creekside. So not only is she a fantastic art teacher, but she is just such a huge part of our faculty. She's so incredibly positive. She gives 100% to everything that she does. She works as a part of our ESS program after school, and she also helps with the archery club that meets after school as well. So everything that Mrs. Brawner does, she throws herself into 100%, and her passion for the students here and for her content, it just transfers over to other people. She makes others better just by working with them.
She comes up to us and says, do you need help and stuff, and then she just helps us a lot and just says stuff to make us get work more and encourage us.
Yeah, there's different kind of art activities, kind of to refer with drawing. There's we use different art supplies. We use in the project we've done recently, we use charcoal pencils, and we sometimes use tempera paint and watercolor paints. I like doing projects where it involves getting dirty. I just like getting dirty because I'm a boy. Most of the time, Miss Brawner, she'll come over to us and ask what we need help with, and then she'll try and help us as best as the ability that she can.
So one of the reasons I think that students will remember Mrs. Brawner later on is just the passion and enthusiasm with which she approaches her instruction. There is not a day where she is not excited about art and excited about presenting the content to students, and that is infectious. You know, she shares with them information and background about all of the concepts that she teaches, and she makes it so intriguing and fascinating that there is no doubt it will stick with kids for the rest of their lives.
Yes, that looks good. That looks very good. Harper, can you be of assistance and help him with sky and road? Explain the technique. If you want to go up to the blue table and take him up there, that'd be great. Harper's going to help you, okay?
I think I'll remember her because she is nice, and I think one other reason is I think that I'll remember her because she helped me so much in art and taught me so much that's how I think I'm gonna be able to remember her.
She encourages us by just saying like you can do it, and she always has this like little saying like it's never gonna be perfect, and you just try your hardest no matter what.
She will help us and show us what to get help on, and maybe she will ask your friends if they can make a better explanation and help you.
Sometimes she does say, "Oh, you can do it," and I believe her.
You're going to go to your table and you're going to get a pencil, just regular normal pencil, and you're going to draw a large birch tree. And the large birch tree needs to have the lines representing the bark of the birch tree in it. Then you're going to come over to the blue table and get a charcoal pencil. You're going to outline all the contour lines around the whole entire thing and the little tiny lines inside. Then you can take your finger and do your smear technique, okay? So if we could get this part done today, that would be great. Then you'd be kind of all caught up with us, okay?
In the future, I will remember Miss Brawner because I'll remember how she tries to, like how she like leaps above and beyond trying to teach kids the best techniques she can, and we will all take that like experience with her or with us when we go to like different places, like different art places.
She's like a great teacher. Like, she will always be in my mind because she was so great at teaching us how to draw and art, and like it could help us very much in the future.
I think I'll remember Miss Brawner because she is a great art teacher, and she's fun, she's helpful, she's caregiving.
I'll always remember Miss Brawner because every time that I go in there, I know something fun is going to happen, and I know that all the kids that come into the classroom, they're going to have a fun time there.
I really think that teachers are just critically important because of what they do each and every day. We are with the students from the time they get here in the afternoon or in the morning until the time that they leave in the afternoon, and sometimes even beyond that. We are the role models for them a lot of times. We are able to bring, I guess, newness into the classroom, make things very interesting, make things fun. It is a very important profession. Sometimes we go unnoticed. And sometimes that's very hard. We spend a lot of extra hours here at school doing things for the children. I often have art club after school. We have made projects to go to Mammoth Cave to be on display, which required, we had to make 6 different panels on canvas, and we probably put in, I'd say 22 to 24 extra hours after school. And a lot of times people don't see that extra stuff that we do. I encourage my kids to enter different art competitions. I encourage them to take art lessons outside of the school day if I see that there is great potential in those students. But I think that we have to be, I guess, the advocates for learning in itself and learning in a very unique and understandable way where certain children may blossom and be able to grow in the arts, whereas they may struggle in the regular classroom.